Hi, everybody.
Oh, you said I was starting.
Yeah, but then I wanted to do my Simpsons
Hi,
character.
Doctor. What is it?
Dr. Nick.
Ah, Dr. Nick. I thought it was Dr. Joe.
From the top. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Joe. Oh.
Dr. Nick. Working with fucking amateurs, I tell you.
Go again.
No, we can't use half the podcast to just repeat the opening.
Half the podcast is not going to be a minute.
The moment's gone.
Oh, okay. Hello, my love.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone listening.
Hi, Steve. Can't say doctor because you're not a doctor.
It's that time of month again.
Where you...
Fortnight.
Yeah, fortnight.
Where we chit-chat and banter about all things relationships.
Yes. And might I add, you're looking mighty bicep-y. Don't look at yourself.
I'm not allowed to look at myself, but I am because...
Don't look at yourself.
Yep. I'm looking jacked.
Yeah, you are looking jacked.
I'm actually really proud of it.
Yeah, tell us. Share with us. Because this is the best you've... Sorry, you go.
Best I've ever looked. 48 years old.
Yeah.
We've been out to dance parties, over New Year's. And when you got 20-year-old dudes walking up going, dude, you look ripped.
Yes.
How do I do that?
Yes.
It is a good feeling.
We went to our friends. It's called Rock City. We've gone the last 3 years. It's a gay event. And we go to support her because she's singing. And definitely this year you got hit on the most.
Yeah.
You got really hit on. So these beautiful guys would come and talk to me and they would see Steve standing next to me and they go, fuck, he's hot. And I purposely didn't say anything, like as in he's my husband, whatever. And I wear my ring on my right finger just because I find it more comfortable, probably because subconsciously I don't want to feel like I'm being owned by a man.
Wow, that's a
podcast. That's a podcast.
Yep.
And then I would see them go up to Steve and be like, hi, my name is whatever. And Steve would be like, hi, I'm Steve. That's my wife. And then they'd all be like, oh, no, how embarrassing. And then we'd all become friends. We were like friends with all of them in the end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you are. You're looking it's I know, obviously, aesthetically you look awesome, but I'm so proud of you because you have battled with your body for a long time.
There have been many different versions of Steve over the years.
Like not probably when I met you, but when I've seen photos of you when you're going through your divorce, you look old.
Yeah.
Simmons is old.
Simmons is old. Yeah. No, yeah, it's true. Like at the end of my previous marriage, like I was like a fat dad, like 107 kilos. Like. And then...
Yeah, but isn't it funny because the other week or the other month you weighed 105, but it's muscle.
Yeah, it's body composition.
Yes. So well done.
Yeah.
You can barely fit in the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, he can barely fit in the screen.
And if you don't watch on YouTube, you should watch this episode on YouTube just to see my guns and shoulders. No, and look, obviously I need to be fit. I mean, I am training. Wolverine is... the next movie that I'll be in as a stunt double.
I thought you were going to say that you have to train because you've got such a beautiful wife.
Oh.
But you didn't. Now I hate you.
That's a given.
You haven't said it today.
Wow.
This is how I start looking for fights.
The second podcast in a row where I'm going to have to talk you off a ledge.
This is how I start looking for fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Well, before... we do. Come on, let's just not do the same routine. What
I
have
agree.
You found?
Let's not do the same routine.
Shut up. What have you found challenging and what have you enjoyed about our relationship since the last episode? Which I know the challenging part is probably going to be what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's talk about...
No.
Okay, the challenging part for me is that we had this very smushy, good bit of our relationship over the Christmas, New Year's break.
Even longer.
Yeah, and the kids... the kids were away. I think Ali was somewhere. And
they were both with their mum.
We had like a whole week of just us, and it was connected and loving and smushy.
I know.
And now...
it's not.
And now it's not. Because I guess the new year started, you're in work mode, I'm in work mode because I always push hard.
Yeah.
at the start of a business year, like, you know, because I practice that paceline leadership approach, and I'm pedaling my little ass off.
Yeah.
And it is evident how quickly we have just chasmed out.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
So I haven't enjoyed that.
What have you?
I have enjoyed.
Oh. Oof. Did you feel that, everyone? I felt that.
No, because we've been doing this, because we've been working like pretty much non-stop for the last 2 weeks. So
Surely there's a little bit of joy. Just even if it was a pocket.
Okay, I'll give you some pockets. I enjoy when I wake up in the morning because you've jumped into bed to give me a cuddle before you go off and do your Pilates or whatever you do. I've enjoyed the watching you cook. I like sitting there and watching you cook.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed the last night when you popped our wedding music on and came out for a dance, because obviously
I knew it.
were feeling that,
we needed that.
And yours is probably going to be the same, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we want to talk about today
is very much that.
Is the fact that, and we've talked about in the past, that relationships are never static. They're always dynamic. They're shifting, they're moving, they're growing, they're dying, they're morphing. And this is a perfect example of that, of how quickly when you, because, you know, your focus determines your reality in anything. Whatever you focus on, you will create more of. If you focused on problems, then you're going to find more problems. If you focused on your health, you get more health. If you focus on money, you get more money. And it's very difficult to focus on all things at once. And you know, you've talked about your wheel of life.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of people listening have heard of the wheel of life. If you haven't, Google it.
Quite a few people haven't.
Oh, okay. It's a really simple process of determining where you sit at the moment in your life. If you Google it, you'll find like a little pie diagram image come up.
And there's 8 pieces of the pie, eight areas of the wheel of life that fundamentally, if we're tending to them, paying close attention to them, then we will be pretty satisfied. And the wheel will be a solid round wheel. Yeah. What people tend to find is when they rate their level of satisfaction in their family, friendships, money, work, purpose, contribution, etc., they find like their love might be high and their money might be low, or their money might be high and their, you know, their interests and their hobbies are nowhere to be found. So there's areas of the wheel of life, or areas of our life, that are being sacrificed.
Yeah. And so then the wheel doesn't spin smoothly along, right? It's clunky. And I guess the point that we're focusing on at the moment is it so quickly as our focus have both shift to business in the last few weeks. Yeah. The other areas have just peeled back. Yeah. And so
what hasn't peeled back is we've kept our health.
Yes.
You and I both have kept the gym, your version of gym, my version of gym, Pilates, etc., our walks. Like we haven't. So there are some areas of the wheel of life that haven't, but certainly for us, the one that has, because we're both in the mode, has been our relationship. That's
yeah. And and I think it's also double whammied, because I'm doing this 6-day-a-week training rip for January and Feb. Yeah. So I've gone from training 3 days a week to 6 days a week. Yeah. You were already doing, I think, close to six anyway. Yeah. So by the end of the day, we're wrecked.
Yeah. And then we've got to find time for ourselves, like as in individual human beings, and then our friendships, and then we've got kids, and then it just starts to be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And we're mentally and physically drained as well, which is a double whammy. So so I understand that not all areas of the wheel have been affected, but because the focus is so much on the health and the business side, it's very obvious to us both that the relationship bit has not been as mushy. But that's the point. The point is that if you have changes in circumstance and you can observe that there's been a shift, well, then you can do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess what I'd like to ask you, and if you ask me back the same as well, in this shift of us both both focusing more on our work, like we're very plugged in, you know, we're very plugged in. How has the, call it decline in our smushiness and muchiness, how are you experiencing that? And how are you experiencing me as a result of that? Honestly.
Oh, I mean, it feels to me at the moment that we're literally just passing each other in the hallway.
Yeah.
You know, like we go off on our walk on the beach.
Yeah.
You go on the sand with the dogs. I stay on the path. So we're both walking, not with each other. Then we'll come home. You'll eat brekkie. I don't eat till lunch because I intermittent fast. So then we're not eating together. Then I'll plug into work. You'll go upstairs. I'll see you like every couple of hours. Hi, how are you? Bye. Huh? And then we have dinner. And then, and then because we've already talked about the fact that, you know, we choose to sleep separate at the moment because we sleep deeper and better. So, yeah, it's just like, yo, fist bump. That's all you're getting.
And how does that feel for you, Mr. 8 Enneagram? Can you please get into your feelings?
Well, I lock them down because that's what we do. We just go into a mode and then we shut our heart off and go, right, it's work mode. And then it's very hard to then open that back up again. And then you get
I feel it.
And then you get a flow-on effect of, because I lock it down, then I don't feel loved.
Yeah.
Because you that then triggers your 4 where you go, oh, no one loves me. And so you go off on your own and isolate, which makes my concrete thicken, my little peoc, which we've talked about. The peoc is the presidential bunker under the White House. It's under 80 levels of concrete. And that's where I put my heart when I go into this mode. And then the concrete gets more. So it takes a very, very conscious shift to have to move out of it.
Yeah. So for me, so I'm an Enneagram type 4, and I know that we've dropped about the Enneagram here throughout our relationship episodes. It's also in my book.
You have a book?
I have a book, yeah.
Oh,
did you not know?
Tell me about it.
Oh, well, it's called Authentic, Coming Home to Your True Self.
And where could I buy said
You could
book?
actually buy it anywhere. From Amazon, from bookstores, anywhere in the world.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I think I'll do that.
Thank you to our sponsors. What was I saying now?
You were saying it's in your book that you're an Enneagram type 4.
Yes. So for me as a type 4, so type 4s are in the feeling center, and we ain't afraid to feel, and we ain't afraid to muster up an emotional turbulent storm and to create stories and to fantasize about things. So my work at the moment that is needing to be very conscious is not to tell myself stories in my head that Steve doesn't love me. Steve cares about work more than he cares about me. Steve's not cuddling me. I'm always the one going to him. And might I say it's kind of true. Seriously, though, can you say that that's true in reality? Like I'm cuddling you more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as an 8, when we switch modes, we don't feel.
Yeah. It's actually like hugging concrete.
Yeah. We don't feel. And it's just, right?
Yep.
All I want to do is get to the end of this process so that I can breathe again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm in the same boat too in terms of my work and what I'm doing. I'm plugged in, but then I need the connection. So I'll want to like snuggle up with Steve on the couch and I can feel that his body doesn't soften at all. If my foot touches his, he like moves it across and it's like, ugh, you know, don't tickle my foot.
Yeah. I don't mind if you touch it. Just don't tickle it.
I didn't even mean to tickle it last night.
And then the cutest thing was I then started scratching my foot really hard against yours. And you thought that I was connecting, but I was scratching my foot.
Yep. And then you know what I did? I moved away from him.
Yeah,
grabbed my phone, cracked the shits, and I'm like, no, don't do that. So yeah, for me as a type 4, I need to be really mindful to not go deep into my stories and make them up. Because then that is when I will shut you out. Now, and when I shut out, like I've shared with you before,
Ice Queen.
I'm going to build my ice tower for one, and Bailey and Daisy are the only people that are allowed. So that's when last night I came downstairs, I could feel you erect. And in my head, I'm like, our relationship is shit. We're going downhill. We were so good a few weeks ago. What's the point of focusing on our businesses if our relationship goes? How long is this going to last for? Is this going to be like this forever? Our relationship is mediocre. I should just go for a walk by myself. Oh my God, all he wants to do is watch the fucking television. I don't want to watch the television. I want to go and watch the sunset, but he want to watch the sunset with me. That's what's going on in my head.
Wow.
Unless you didn't know.
No.
That's what was going on in my head. I came home from dancing and I was like, ugh. He's seriously watching the tennis. And he doesn't even want to go for a walk with me. And I hadn't even expressed any of these needs, by the way. Anyway, that's what was going on in my head.
What a common theme. Kat doesn't express a need, but then judges me for it. I feel like this came up last podcast.
It did. So I went and had a shower and was listening to the ramble going on in my head. And I thought, no. I know what we need. So he was literally in the middle of watching the tennis. I come out of the shower and I put my PJs on, and then I put on Spotify and connect it to our Sonos, and I just played really loudly our wedding song.
It's funny because when it first came on, I was so angry because I thought one of the girls had just taken over the sound system, because I couldn't hear the song yet. I just heard this massive thing start blaring, and because I was so knackered already, it's like it went to every nerve in my body and strung them like a harp. Bring! And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? And then you've come out and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's little chooks.
And then I went and stood in the middle of our, what are you called, living room. And I put my arms out as an invitation for us to dance, and we danced.
Yep.
And we hugged and we snuggled, and I felt you soften a little bit.
Yep.
I did. I felt you soften.
1.6%.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. I'm now only 98.4% complete.
So that's what we are experiencing at the moment, and we want to share it because this is what happens. You know, when we tend to the areas of our wheel of life, there are going to be areas that then start to suffer a little bit. And it's normal and it's okay. And you want to be really aware and you want to be really conscious so it doesn't keep slipping. And then all the other areas of the wheel of life bloom, and then your relationship's down the pooper.
And there's two things I think that are important. One is that by sharing this, we're not perfect. You know, we don't only put the best version of our relationship onto Instagram. Like, we put the good bits and the bad bits and the normal bits and the hard bits and all that sort of stuff. So the first one is, you know, anyone else that might be experiencing this too, cool. Like, even with all the work, it still happens. But the point is, and this is why I'm very keen to read your book, which is on Amazon.
It is. And in all good bookstores.
In all good bookstores.
Yeah, all over the world.
Why it's so important to know the work is so that when it happens, because it will, it gives you the path out a lot quicker. Yeah. So the fact that how quickly we can identify it, acknowledge it, communicate calmly, and then
that's true.
And then develop strategies. Yep. And the strategies, by the way, is we've said, cool. So like, it's very obvious we've swung way too far the other way.
Yeah.
So this Sunday, you know, we're going to head out, do one of our scenic Sundays.
I sent you a message last night.
Yeah.
So I went to bed and I'm going to read it. I sent Steve a message. I said, Dear Steve, Sunday we have a free day and it's been some time since we did our last scenic Sunday. I think it was in December or November. It is clear we have lost some of our closeness and smushiness and that great run of usness due to being plugged into our work. So let's both make time and space for just us on Sunday and take a drive and a walk to drop out of our heads. The weather looks great too, with a sunshine emoji.
Yes. And tell them my heartfelt response.
That sounds great.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Thank fuck you put 2 X's at the end. Steve's a dry texter. The girls call you a dry texter.
Oh, yeah. They'll write me this 18-page script and I'll be like, okay.
Yep.
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 Everyone gets the same response from me though.
So receiving that, okay, when I played the music and you eventually came and danced,
Mhm.
one, what did that feel like? And two, when you received my message about Sunday, what did that feel like?
It was nice to receive. In all truth, my ego,
Can't be fucked.
yeah, it was like, why, why is she making a big deal about this? But
Okay,
then,
go. Yeah, go.
yeah, but then the other part of me was like, you know what? That would be really nice. But it is what you're reflecting, because in the end, whenever we get triggered by anything,
Sorry. I'm just back at the bit where your ego has said,
yeah, whenever we get triggered by something, it's mirroring something in us. That's always a given, right? So
yeah.
so what happens in this scenario is what you were actually triggering in me is the fact that you wanted to put us first, and the irritation that came up was the fact that I knew you were right. But as I said, we've swung so far, or I've swung so far the other way, that it's mirroring in me the fact that you got to find some balance, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, because I think what I've noticed in you is that you're plug into work, and then because you're knackered after it, you've then got nothing left for the people who matter. And I know that it's funny, like anytime I've ever done a meditation session or a gratitude thing, and anything that has come out of it, it's always been times with friends, times with family, and memorable moments that have just like unlocked my heart.
Always.
It's never been, thank fuck I sat at my laptop for 10 hours a day.
And I did the same thing yesterday. I went through my notes from 2016. I read some things. I was like, how do I get this fucking heart to reopen? And then even today, after gym, when I was walking down to meet you at the beach, I was like, okay, time for gratitude. My ego's like, grateful for what? Fuck this. And I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, so you're right. You're right up against your ego at the moment.
Yeah.
Or your ego's right up against you.
Yeah,
not a lot of space between you and it.
Yes, because my ego, when it decides it wants something to happen, it has to happen like that.
Which is the 8 Enneagram
which is the
type.
8. We are the challengers, the go-getters, the boss, the fucking,
Yeah. So that's interesting to note, that you're more in your personality type. Like you're deeper in your personality than in your heart.
Currently.
Yep. Yeah, because our types get shit done.
Yeah. And what happens is, and this is really, really a powerful lesson, is, how we talk about, you have your current reality, you have your end result, your true end result from your heart, and then how the ego interferes, and that's what throws you off course, right? So when my heart's like, oh, I want to take some time to just chill or go out and sunbake or whatever, my ego's like, yeah, we can do that once we've done that. So then the ego then retakes control and says, well, when we finish achieving all these goals, then you can have your whatever you actually want. So yeah, it is a bit painful.
And this is where, in a relationship where you know one another's types and you know one another's personalities, so hearing this right now, I have a lot of compassion for you, because you're battling, your inner critic. You're battling your ego, which is a very big force. And at the moment, it's been winning. At the moment, it's been winning, because there's not much left over for you. There's not much left over for us. And yeah, you rightly said that reflected piece back with me sharing, let's go here and let's do something together. You've already got the message of, I need to balance this out a little bit. Like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, but to an 8 type, it was built in half a day.
Probably was. Yeah.
Yeah. So this allows me, this kind of conversation and this kind of relationship allows us, and could allow you, to have far more compassion than going, fuck, my partner's an asshole. They're a drainer. They're on my ass. Can't you just let me have a fucking Sunday to myself? Get off my case. And then I'm like, yeah, but we're not connected and we're not this. It's so easy to do that. Like, I can't tell you how easy it is to do that, especially when we're both tired, we're both working pretty hard, and that's just going to make the chasm a shit ton bigger. So I'm proud of us. I think we're doing well in our chasm. I think we're still going like, cooey. Or I'm there going, cooey. And you're like, just wait.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck does she want now? Cooey yourself.
No, I'm just standing there going, I just want to feel loved.
Yeah.
So we're sharing this today from a very real, raw, relatable place. Any words to close us off with?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think
No,
we've
no
covered
more
it. I think
words
it's
of advice?
no. I think
No?
it's a good one. I think it's a relatable one. And I think the most important part in all this is not what leads you here, because that's life, right? That you
True.
you can never choose
Yep.
your stimulus. You can
Mm,
only ever choose response. And what we're trying to share is a good response is to acknowledge it,
yep.
to identify it,
Yep.
to talk about it openly with your partner, to develop, proactive strategies. Like, shit doesn't get changed by wishful thinking. It's taking steps and consciously going, okay, cool, this is a problem, let's sort it out.
Amen.
Yeah. So on that, bye everybody.
Bye, Dr. Steve. Really messed it up today, haven't I?
Just, yeah, no good. See you next time.